Fox Business exclusive is former Reagan economist Art Laffer. Art, great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. A lot of really worrying comments from these CEOs. And then we got the jobs numbers on Friday, where wages were up 5.2%, but still not enough to offset the sting of inflation, which is running at 8.3%. Your reaction?
Well, I think Jamie Dimon and Elon Musk are completely correct. That jobs report was not a great jobs report if you look at it from a long-term perspective, Maria. I mean, we are still way below where we were in February of 2020. We're 800,000 jobs below that level. We haven't even caught up yet. Number two, if you had a trend line there, we're probably 3.5 million jobs below where we should be. The participation rate has fallen sharply, and all of this with the bad policies that this administration is doing makes me very concerned about the possibility of a slowdown or a turndown or even a full-blown recession.
Yeah, I mean, we had a contraction in the first quarter of 1.4%. If we get another contraction,
huge.
Obviously we're in recession right now. I would point out the jobs that were created in the month of May. A big part of it was leisure and hospitality, up 84,000. These are low-paying jobs. Education and health services as well, 74,000 jobs there. So what do you make of the quality of jobs? You also had a decline in jobs at the retail level. Retail trade down 60,000 jobs. And this is where the worry really is around the consumer, Art, sure. That the consumer has been taking down their savings levels, spending money from savings because of inflation to keep up.
Yeah, well, let me just talk about the quality of the jobs for a split second, Maria. The jobs we lost through the pandemic, and there were also low-paying jobs. So these jobs that are coming back, you would expect to be low-paying jobs because they're just refilling and rebuilding up back up to where they were before. That's what I would expect. I would also not look at all of this with regard to the demand side, Maria. I would look at it the supply side. You've got a lot of people who've left the labor force who aren't even looking for jobs, and these people aren't planning on coming back, and they aren't coming back in numbers. Our participation rate, which is the key point here, has way down from what it was in February of 2020. So we have not only not caught up, our trend line is way below that. And the downturn in real GDP in the first quarter is a warning sign of massive proportions. It's a flashing red sign. It's a warning sign for the economy.
Yeah, and part of this is based on inflation because of all of the spending that we saw out of this administration over the last year. You've got things like everything we're buying up in the double digits. Eggs year over year up 22%. Meat and fish up in the double digits, 17, 18%. The average consumer price index is up 8.3%, but that's just the average. A lot of the things we're buying are up much more than that. But President Biden said, look, he doesn't know what to do about it. He doesn't have any tools to fix it. He made this major admission this week. Watch this.
The idea we're going to be able to, click a switch, bring down the cost of gasoline is not likely in the near term, nor is it with regard to food.
Your thoughts? What can he do, Art?
Yeah. Well, my thoughts. Well, what should be done by the government? Let me just say, if I were an advisor, and I sure as heck am not, what I would do is say, number one, the Fed should stop buying government securities, period, and roll off a lot of their balance sheets. They own $9 trillion worth of securities. The second thing they should do is sequester and impound government funds that have been already authorized and not spend them. That's probably $2 trillion right there. Then they should also do something about trade. We should have better trade facilities going on and more of that. I think the president should also publicly abandon Build Back Better. The president should also reverse his energy policies, reopen the Keystone XL pipeline, reopen all the drilling. This guy, Deese, who runs the National Economic Council, said, well, we're producing more oil than in Trump's first year. Duh. I mean, that's not a correct answer. He said also the inflation started when the Russians started building up troops on the boundary of Ukraine. They didn't stop selling oil then, Maria. They were fully blown oil. So the price increases of that are all under Biden. And lastly, I would really, if I were President Biden, I would really try to look for some way of getting a ceasefire in this land war in Europe. It is a very unhealthy situation, and the longer that lasts, the more economic problems and political and military problems we're going to face. It's getting to be another Afghanistan.
Yeah, that was the other worry from Jamie Dimon, who said because of the Ukraine war, we could see oil prices go to $175 a barrel. True. He said that is part of his economic hurricane prediction. Art, it's great to get your insights all the time. Thanks very much, sir. We will see you soon.
Thank you.